Hi everyone. Let us look at workflow basics. So far we have had some experience running our code, and even though I did not give you a lot of detail, you must have figured out the basics. And I'm sure that in a lot of cases you would also have been frustrated. Now frustration is inevitable. Since R is a programming language, you have to be very careful of the punctuation and the syntax. And it's very simple to make a silly mistake. So don't be worried when that happens. The longer and more complicated the code, there would always be a possibility for you to make a mistake. So before I go further with data transformation, I want to cover some coding basics with you. I have already mentioned that R can be used as a calculator. So if I say 1 divided by 200, let's say into 30, it gives us the result in the console window. We also have inbuilt functions like sine and pi, and we can do calculations on that. If we want to create a new object, let's say x, we can use less than hyphen and then say 3 multiplied by 5. And when we run x, you notice the result comes as 15. So the basic idea here is that there is an object name that we are creating and we are putting a value inside it like this. When it comes to objects, you have to remember certain fundamentals. For example, object names must start with a letter. A number, an underscore, or a period, right? So this is mandatory. The convention that we usually follow is called the snake case, which is like this. So this is a snake case. You would see that there are different variations on the case. People use a camel case, some people use their own style, some people use a period. But a snake case which has underscores is considered to be one of the most common conventions. We know that R has a lot of inbuilt functions which work even without having to install and load a library. So usually we put the function name, and after that we put the argument separated by a comma. Depending on the type of function, there can be numerous arguments inside it. Let's take an example. I want to create a sequence of numbers ranging from 1 to 10. And in the console window, let me just clear it. You can see that we get a sequence of numbers from 1 to 10. Let's do a small variation. An object y, I'm creating a sequence which is 1 to 10 and the length out is equal to 5. Let's see what happens. So we get 1, 3.25, 5.5, 7.75 and 10. So I hope you see what we're doing. If I put it as 3, I get 3 numbers, 1, 5.5 and 10. If you want to see the result without having to put 2 lines, we can simply put it in a parentheses and you notice the result comes directly. Which means that you don't have to first create the object and then run the object. You can do it in one single line of code. Also, if you notice on the environment in the upper right pane, you can see that it is giving you a list of all the objects that you're creating. So y is 1, 5.5 and 10. So if I change this to, let's say 5, you notice the object changes here. The next lecture is where we actually get into the meat of R, which is data transformation. We've done some examples on visualization, and it's fantastic to be able to create all these visuals. And it's not very difficult to create visualizations on R. The challenge is for us to be able to do data transformation, post which we will do data visualization. I will see you for the next lecture.